Hello, everyone. This is Ruby D, and this is Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. And yeah, my apologies. I don't know. Facebook wasn't letting me go on live. I don't know what was going on. But I thank you all for tuning in today. I'm actually waiting for Allison to come on for Soul Sunday. Hey, sis, girl, Facebook doing its thing. So I'm just going to wait for Facebook to tell me when I can invite Allison on. But for those that don't know me, I am Ruby D, the Goddess Entrepreneur, author of the Goddess Grind book series, which focuses on you becoming the best version of you personally, the best version of you in order to manifest success personally as well as professionally. This is Soul Therapy. No, this is not. This is Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. I actually got finished with Soul Therapy with myself and Tara. So yeah, today has been a very busy day for me so far. But I'm waiting for Allison so I can send her invite. She is watching. But y'all know sometimes Facebook, you gotta wait a little while for Facebook give you the option to add somebody on. So I'm sending her invite right now. Right now. Quickly while I'm waiting for her, if you didn't catch Soul Therapy today from noon to 1 with myself and Tara, you definitely should check that out. Definitely had a very good conversation. And it was about mother doesn't always know best, unfortunately. But hey, girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I think I might have figured out how to get on quicker, but I'll see if it works next week. I think I just figured it out. So we'll see.
Well, okay. Okay. For a little while, I was like, is Facebook gonna let me go live? Is something going on? But yeah, it was taking me a minute to get connected, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you are here, I'll go ahead and finish my introduction. In addition to being an author, I'm also a speaker, I'm a chakra expert, I'm a radio personality, I am a friend, I am everything I need to be for myself. I'm a self-care advocate. I can't even talk right now. But yeah, I'm all of that. And real quick, Allison, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Peace and blessings, everybody. I'm Miss Allison Denise, relationship coach and blogger, vlogger, radio show personality, speaker, author, and today I am one half of Soul Sunday with my sister Ruby, and I see our other sister Tara just came on. What's up? Uh, we are so glad to be here, and I'm excited about today's
Yeah.
topic.
Real quick, to our replay viewers, if you happen to catch this on the replay, comment your name, where you're watching from, so we can thank you for tuning in. And as always, if you feel anything that we say it resonates with you or will be beneficial for yourself or somebody else, please feel free to share the video. Even as you're watching, please feel free to share the
Yes.
video. We welcome comments, we welcome questions, we welcome engagement. We like it all. Hearts, likes, smiley faces, angry faces, it doesn't matter. But today on Soul Sunday, Allison and we will be discussing how to stay focused on your business after a breakup. Hey Roscoe, hey Mika, hey Brian, hey CJ, hey Terry, hey Tony. Yeah, Tara, special shout out to you. Thank you, thank you. But we are discussing how to stay focused after a breakup. Of course, you all know that I say you cannot separate your business from your personal. And definitely when it comes to a breakup, when you break up with your significant other, and if it was somebody that you loved and you were emotionally and mentally and spiritually connected or attached to, there is a difference between an attachment and a connection. It's going to affect you and the way you continue to do things.
Yes.
Not to say it's going to influence how you do those things, but no, if you were with somebody for some years and y'all were together and y'all break up, when you go to work the next day it's gonna be a little rough. When you get online and start posting, it's gonna be a little rough, especially if you haven't gotten to the point where you block them on everything and you scrolling while you trying to work and you see something from them and it's just like it's gonna affect you, and it's gonna affect you when you're running your business is going to affect you until you get to the point where it doesn't affect you.
Right.
Because even with the relationship, you know, you break up one day, you're not better the next day. You have to allow yourself to mentally and emotionally and spiritually and even physically deal with what's going to happen going forward. Because if you were used to doing certain things in the morning before going to work and you no longer have those things there, it's going to be a problem. You need to make some adjustments. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Allison, where did this topic come from? I know I asked you, sis, what we talking about today? And you was like, you know what? Let's talk about this.
Well, the reason I came up with today's topic is because I love the fact that we have such a great blend between me and you, between business, entrepreneurship, and relationships. And one of the things that I have personally experienced, I just started thinking about times that I have been at jobs and uh, some of the different experiences that I've had when I go into certain businesses. And because I'm an empath, people have always felt the need to share more than they really are. They're like, why am I telling you all this? And so there have been several occasions, specifically in small businesses, where somebody may have been a little snappy, somebody may have been a little rude, either with me or with another customer. And by the time I get to them, I'm still calm and cool and everything. And they come back, and more than once I've had somebody say, I'm really sorry about what happened. I'm sorry you had to see me act like that with blah blah blah. I'm going through a divorce, and I didn't want it, or I just found out my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I've had that happen on both sides. I found out that that they were cheating on me, and I'm still trying to figure out how to handle it. And luckily I was able to help talk to them and maybe gave them a few minutes where they could stay level. But it did occur to me, now that I'm a business owner, that could have been me. And how would I have handled that if I had been a business owner and still in that narcissistic relationship? How would I have handled that if I were a business owner and had gone through the domestic violence attack that I was on? How was I going to handle that? And so it just got me to thinking, maybe we need to discuss this.
True. We like to talk about stuff that people don't normally
Yeah.
think about or even care to discuss because people feel like it's not an issue or it's not a problem until you're actually there experiencing it. And it's like, I mean, even at some point you just figure out how to get through it and whatnot, but it is a real life situation where personal does, personal and professional cross paths. Like one does clearly affect the other. And it's just like, you can't deal with a breakup and then be like, I'm okay tomorrow, let's get to work. A lie. I wasn't even dealing with a breakup. It was just an argument. And I was just like, you know what? This got to be handled today. I went to work, got that, and was like, you know what? I'm not here mentally. I'm not here emotionally. I need to go home and work through this and take care of this. And it's the same way with the breakup. When you are an entrepreneur and you go through a breakup, trust me, if it's the woman initiating the breakup, it's different than if it comes from, the man. Because if the woman is the entrepreneur, knowing the way we are, we've thought about this, we've considered it, we've done a lot of considering. We don't just up and say, you know what, I don't want to be with you no more. That's not how we work. So we've actually thought about this. We've thought about scenarios. We've thought about some situations. How is this going to affect me? I know by doing this, and this, A, B, and C, E, F, G, H, I, all the way to Z. And if we come to you and say it's really not going to work out, that still hurts us. Even if we are the dumper and not the dumpy, it still hurts us because we still have to look at that as time we've put into this particular relationship. We've gotten used to you being there. We've gotten used to this certain level of protection or whatever the dynamics of the relationship was. We've gotten used to that, and we've gotten used to the type of person that makes us when we're working. Of course, if you have a partner that's there, Allison and I talked about relationships and business, last episode. So definitely go back and watch that one. But when you know you have somebody there that's supportive of you, somebody that's pushing you towards your goals, somebody that encourages you, and basically it's just a support system that you have there, you perform so much better, not even just being an entrepreneur, but also professionally, whether you have a career or whether you have a job. Just having that person there and knowing that we have somebody, it pushes us, it motivates us, and it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But if we've gotten to the point where we're like, this relationship is not working for us, trust me, we know what it's going to be like or how that's going to affect us when we say, I don't have that person there anymore. I don't have that support system anymore. And that's gonna, I'm not gonna say it eats away at us, it eats away at us, but it still affects us to the point where we it's gonna cause us to do things a little different. And one of the things that we have to, which me and Allison talk about it all the time, is self-care, self professional self-care, basically where you're having that positive self-talk when it comes to yourself. So even when that person is not there, you're still able to continue to move forward. You're still able to do what you need to do because you were not just counting on that particular person to pour into you, because you were pouring into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the breakup takes place, you're still able to move forward. Yeah, you're gonna feel a little bad about it, but mentally and emotionally, you're still able to motivate yourself because it wasn't solely based on who your partner was that's no longer there. That was a lot of talking, Allison. My mind is everywhere today, y'all. I'm sorry, but Allison.
So the reason that I think this is, important, and don't get me wrong, if you are an employee versus an entrepreneur, yeah, this information will be able to help you as well. But the reason I discuss it from a business owner perspective is, or want to discuss it from a business owner perspective, is because, when you're a business owner, you don't have PTO, you don't have sick time, you don't have, the ability to, like Ruby just mentioned, if when she was still an employee, if she wasn't having a great uh, morning, she could just say, you know what, I'm just mentally not here. I need to take the day off. You may or may not have that option as a business owner, and more times than not, you won't have that option. But you're also having to deal with the dynamic of the fact that, if you go off or get emotional with the wrong customer, it could literally cost you a lot of money. You could get, mouthy with
Yeah.
someone who was planning to invest in you. You could get mouthy with a mystery shopper. Those are out there. I've done them, so I know that they still, are hiring people to do that. You could uh, end up going off on someone that was referred by one of your customers, and now that customer doesn't want to come back because, the person who referred you is now looking crazy. So you have a lot that's on the line
Mhm.
when you're still having to run a business with that heart broken. And I think it's important to figure out what is the best way to, um, how do I navigate through this? Because, Ruby is right from a woman's perspective. The times that I have broken up with people, it's always been a last resort. I've never broken up with somebody just
Mhm.
for the heck of it. I've never broken up with them just because I didn't want to be with them no more or whatever. It's always been usually a situation where no matter how much I've tried to be patient, no matter how much I've tried to talk, it just got to the point where, okay, they're not listening. And so I don't want to go, but I don't have a choice but to go or let them leave because I still have my own self-love and my own self-respect that I have to take care of. And so those are, really difficult decisions that you have to make. And, you know, um, for any women out there who are like me, you tend to go through the breakup before you break it off. I tend to go through
Mhm.
the tears and the why is this, and I tend to go through all that stuff before I actually say the words it's over, which is why, that's one reason I don't tend to backtrack, because I've already gone through the breakup feelings before I've said it. But that doesn't mean
Right.
that once I say it, it's a wrap, because it's not. And I know that there are a lot of other people out there like that, because I've encountered some of you who trying to run businesses while you mad. And it's funny from my perspective, but I know the pain that you're dealing with because I've been there. But I also want to show you, I want us to give you some tips on how do you heal from this broken heart without it costing you your business or your reputation
Your
or
business.
whatever. And one of the biggest things, Ruby actually brought it up, but whether you feel like it or not, you got to block them. You got to block them from your phone. You got to block them from all social media. If you're a tech geek like me, I've also blocked emails. I set it up where their email address, if it came from their email address, it went straight to the trash. I didn't even know that it ever got to me. But you got to do that. And some people
Mm-hmm.
think that that's you being petty, but it's not. You have to understand, if you were really invested in that person, then you are still going to deal with the void of them not being there. You're still going to have these flashbacks. If it was somebody that you really invested in that didn't necessarily treat you right or reciprocate it, you're going to have all of the why didn't she do this and why didn't he do that and why couldn't he or she see me this way or that way. And if you keep going on their social media, and for all you know, they're just doing something that they were scheduled to do 2 weeks before you ended it, but you are going to, in your
Mm-hmm.
emotion, think that it's them just moving on like you didn't matter. And you may not, that may not be it at all, but you don't understand that whether that's the case or not, it's no longer your concern because you still want them there. So you got to block them
Mm-hmm.
until you no longer have a desire to check up on them or anything like that. And for me, the only people that I've blocked from me are, the jerks, the trolls, the pervs, and all that other stuff. But oftentimes, when I've blocked a person, I've blocked me from them. And that might be the mindset that you have to use. I'm not blocking them from me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm blocking me from them because I'm
Right.
blocking me from continuing to try to figure out what's going on in their life when they clearly don't want me in it. I'm blocking myself from seeing what's going on because if I'm not involved, it doesn't really matter. You don't need those visuals, especially when you're trying to run a business. So that would be the first thing that I would discuss. You have got to get, it's got to be out of sight, out of mind, just for a little while. Now, when you're stronger, whether you still
Mm-hmm.
care about them or not, when you're strong enough to say, I love them, but I'm not going to look up what they're doing, I'm not going to check on what they're doing, you can unblock them because then at that point, you've gotten over the hump. You're not going to look, so there's no need to keep them on that block list. But you do have to do something initially because that is where you start to develop a little bit of peace in the situation instead of all this chaos that can result from just seeing a simple photo or a simple post and you're automatically thinking it's about you. I knew she didn't love me. I knew he never loved me. You don't want to do that and then go try to open up your business. You
A business.
you don't. You just don't want to do that. So that would be my first suggestion.
Right. Well, thank you, Allison, for that suggestion, and welcome to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison, and we are discussing business and breakups. Now, another issue that we will run across with when it comes to business and breakups is if you all started a business together while you were in a relationship
Mm,
and some years down the line y'all decided to break up
mm,
but still maintain the business relationship,
mm.
of course it's going to affect you. Why? Because you ain't got no choice but to see them and talk to them. You can't block them.
Mm-mm. You can't.
So you definitely want to, that's something that you definitely have to take into consideration. What I will say is, in most cases, hopefully, if you've gotten to the point where you've started a business with your partner, your romantic partner, whoever you're in a relationship in, then I would say you didn't just start a business with anybody. This is somebody that you've been knowing for a while. Y'all have a foundation of friendship, or either y'all may have started the business before you actually got in a relationship. A number of different things that could have occurred. But whatever that may have been, now you're to the point where you all have been together, you've been intimate, you've had this relationship. Now you decide to go your separate ways, but the business is still there. You still gonna be affected. I don't care how much you say, well, it's not gonna bother me because we've always been friends, because you know he already know the situation, or she's not like that, or he's not like that. We ain't talking about them. We talking about you
Right.
and how you feel and how you're gonna continue to run the
That's
business.
right.
You know, if for 2 years y'all been working in the same office having this business, and every morning he's been bringing you coffee, or every morning she's been doing this, and then all of a sudden she doesn't do that anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or he doesn't do that anymore, you're gonna feel some type of way until you get to the point where you're like, wait, we're not together. I can deal with this. I can handle this. Because we don't want you upset because you didn't get your coffee this morning, because you ain't had to go get it for 2 years. Or you didn't have your donut this morning because she's been bringing it every day for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need you cranky over no donut.
We really
You
don't.
need to learn how to go get your own donut. You need to learn to make the adjustments of being a business owner by yourself, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to you still thinking you're a business owner in a relationship with this person that's been doing these things for you, or you've been doing these things for each other. And then on the flip side, the things that you were doing while y'all were together while running the business, you ain't got to do them no more. You know, if it's a bright side to it, look at that. Ooh, I ain't got to make that extra stop for no coffee. I ain't got to make that extra stop for that donut. You know what? I ain't even got to buy 2 donuts no more. I could just buy one. You know, that type of thing. And like Allison said, it's not that you're being petty or anything like that. It's that you are doing what you need to do to get through this breakup so it doesn't affect you negatively while you're trying to run your business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it's some of y'all out there that have businesses with partners, with your intimate partners, and y'all still together, y'all having problems in a relationship now, and it's causing problems in the business itself. You need to make a decision. Do you want the relationship or do you want the business? If it's gotten to that point, you need to make a decision. Because if you continue to go down this particular road that you're going down, something is going to happen at one point or another. It's either the business is going to go bad or the relationship is going to go bad. Or either y'all going to decide to work on it. If you've gotten to the point where you're like, we can't work on this, no, we need to go our separate ways,
Mm-hmm.
then y'all really need to be some adults about it. Don't be going back and forth on social media. Don't be putting your business. You know what? Me and Allison did a whole show on what not to do during the breakup. And go back and
Yeah.
watch it. Don't do none of that stuff when y'all broke up.
Mm-mm.
If anything, you need to be focusing on what can I do to make sure I'm okay and to get through this.
Yeah.
As peacefully as possible. And trust me, peacefully does not mean happily.
Mm-hmm.
Peacefully means you've gotten to the point where even though you're dealing with this, you're dealing with this from a place of learning the lesson in positivity, not going off being petty and all this other kind of stuff. You're dealing with it as an adult as opposed to dealing with it like you're a child.
Mm-hmm.
Put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Allison?
It's, Ruby's absolutely right. The first thing, it breakups are a process, and so the first thing that you are instantly going to miss is by default that person's presence. So when the breakup is over, you are going to miss their presence, or in the situation that we're talking about right now, you're going to miss the role that they had in your life and the role that you had in theirs. But the second thing that most people miss is the routine. That is
Mm-hmm.
that's the main thing that keeps people going back. If it's not the fact that they just miss and love the person, it's usually going to be the routine of whatever it was, because you were still calibrated for the relationship that's no longer happened. Your brain didn't just shut off.
Right.
Everything is still calibrated to what you had, and that is oftentimes the second thing that you're missing most. And so the only way to get over that routine is to get a new routine as quickly as possible. And you have to do it when you don't want to do the routine. You have to do it even though, like Ruby mentioned, well, now I just have to get one donut. You may get to that drive through, order for one, and you may cry all the way to work because you just had to order for one. But you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it because you have to get
Mm-hmm.
your brain and your heart and your body reconcile to the fact that that routine is now over. Can it come back
Mm-hmm.
around? Yeah, but deal with that if it comes back around. Until then, you need a new routine. And if you guys are working together, if you're specifically working together, let's say it's an entrepreneurial situation. We're not saying that you work together at a job or anything like that. Let's just say that the two of you started a
Right.
brick and mortar business and you both go into the business every day. Y'all may want to discuss. Now, I would hope at this point y'all can at least be mature about the business piece, but you may need to lay some ground rules to help you be your best while the business is open for the day. You may need to sit down and say, hey, for the next 3 to 6 months, I don't want to know if you're dating anybody. It doesn't really matter. But for the next 3 to 6 months, could they not come here? For the next three to
Mm-hmm.
six months, could you, if you decide to meet for lunch, could you just do it elsewhere and not let me know? Now, some people may think that's petty, but what you're doing is taking the time to know what your triggers will be. So if you were really into that person and you really loved them and they just decided that it wasn't going to work, you don't have a choice but to let them be, but you don't need to see their new life thrown in your face either. And so they would
Mm-hmm.
hopefully,
And vice
and
versa.
vice versa. And, both of you will hopefully be at least mature enough to understand, okay, this is what he or she needs me to do so that our business isn't affected. Now,
Mm-hmm.
notice, now this isn't a control thing. For those of you who didn't hear what I just said, I didn't say don't date anybody for 6 months. I said don't bring them around the office. That is a very reasonable request. Yes, you may want your new boo to see what you do, but understand that your old boo is still right here trying to nurse his or her broken heart. Be respectful.
Right.
And, hopefully the person that you're with will understand that, because if they see how ruthless you can be to an ex, common sense should tell them maybe I don't need to be bothered with you either. If this is how you can treat an ex, then I don't want to be bothered, because it's not always the ex that did wrong. Never mind. Let me
Right.
leave that alone. That's another topic. But but you want to make sure that you set those ground rules. Let's not have any personal calls from new people for the first 3 to 6 months. Let's not have any visits from new people that we're dating for the next 3 to 6 months. And let's not discuss our relationship during business hours. If you do want to talk about something, if you do want to see, but you got to set those ground rules. It can't be one of those in between situations where y'all are still sitting there working together, and then the one who did the breaking up comes over and says, are you okay? That's going to set you back. Tell them not to do that. Likewise, if you're the person who ended it, stop going to them. Or let's just say you're the person who had it done to you. Either way, you can't have that 20-second extended gaze into each other's eyes, or pat on the back, or, well, I just decided, I know this is what we have usually done and I don't see any reason why it needs to stop. I can tell you several reasons you need to stop bringing him coffee, stop bringing him donuts, stop bringing her flowers, stop doing those things, because if it's over, it's got to be over. There's got to be a difference in the way that you react and respond to one another. Otherwise, your business is going to start being affected. So you got to make sure that
Mm.
you cut that line. If y'all cut it, then cut it. Leave it there. Okay.
Goody. Goody. Thank you all for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. And today we are discussing business and breakups.
Yes.
Now, of course, Allison, we're going to move right along with what she was saying. When you are dealing with a breakup as a business owner, or you may be, the last topic or example that we gave were you two are business partners. You have to set some boundaries. You have to, not only for the other person, but for yourself. With setting boundaries, then that's pretty much saying, well, I'm not going to tolerate this and I'm not going to tolerate that, because I don't want to mislead you, like Allison said, into thinking that we're still kind of together, even though we're not together.
Yep.
And also, I have to set these boundaries for myself, because I don't want to feel like I'm letting myself down, especially if I've said, no, we're not together anymore. You need to abide by those rules, and that person needs to abide by that rules. Not only that, or by that particular rule, but not only that, when it comes to your business, if you start being lenient with this person that you're not in a relationship with, but allow them to kind of do relationship stuff, that confuses you.
Yep.
You're going to start doing the same thing with your
Yep.
business. You're going to start being lenient with things that you've never been lenient with when it comes to your business. If you have a strict no refund policy, don't start bending no rules and say, well, maybe I can do this. Well, maybe. No,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a strict no returns policy, don't be lenient, especially if you haven't been lenient before.
Right.
But when you set those boundaries in your personal relationship, then you're automatically going to set boundaries in your professional relationship. If you can follow them in your personal, you have no problem with following them professionally. Because what we fail to realize is that our business is just simply a reflection of what's going on personally.
Yep.
That's why when that breakup happens, you gonna feel some type of way. You don't be upset and sad in the morning because the breakup took place, but as soon as you walk into your place of business, you are bubbling box of joy and whatever. You still gonna be that same upset once you get to work.
That's right.
You're gonna want to interact with people less than what you normally do. And pretty much what that is, that's energy.
Yep.
Energy that you've taken from home, energy that you have taken to work or taken to your place of business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's energy that you're distributing out to everybody because you still have to run this business. I don't want you running a business advertising to me and you got a bunch of negative energy flowing.
Yep.
Because what I'm going to do, I'm block you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's one less customer that you got, one less potential customer that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust me, I follow a lot of, I'm sure Allison does too, a lot of business owners on social media. And y'all personal be shining through when it comes to y'all business.
It really does.
It does. And it's just like, I don't know what she got going on, but let me scroll, unfollow, block, whatever I need to do because I don't need that energy. Trust me, I'm all about energy. I don't need it. That's why sometimes when I'm on, social media, if I'm not there, it's not that something is going on. It's because I need to recharge and balance and, make sure I'm not absorbing what doesn't belong to me. If y'all go through my page, y'all not gonna see me cussing nobody out. Y'all not gonna see no negative energy. Y'all not gonna really see no negative posts. Y'all ain't gonna see me sharing videos of people fighting. Y'all not, it's a lot of stuff y'all not gonna see me do because I know that holds energy. And even if I'm dealing with something negatively myself, I don't even bring it to y'all. I deal with
Yep.
that and I make sure that whatever I give to you is positive energy because that's all I need coming back to me. I ain't saying positive vibes only, even though I do subscribe to positive vibes only. You can have something negative going on
Yeah.
and still be positive about it.
Yep.
But you just have to be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Set your boundary personally for the other person, for you, and even if it come down to your family, set some boundaries for them to be like, hey, me and such ain't together no more. I know we got this business together. What I don't need y'all doing is instigating stuff. I don't need y'all sharing. I don't need y'all posting. Don't come back and tell me nothing about this person, especially when I'm at work. I'm just saying, set some boundaries
Yep.
and stick to them. Enforce those boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
Allison.
I want to send four quick shout outs to Melissa, Sherry, Victoria, and Charlotte. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. Um, so yeah, let's talk about this. So when we're talking about setting boundaries, I do think that we need to go ahead and make this number one just because of the era of technology that we're in. Your number one boundary has got to be this social media thing. It's got to be. And the reason I know that a lot of you are putting subliminal messages and things out there is because of the way that you respond to some of the things that I post. A lot of the things that I post, I end up with people in my inbox asking, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, y'all, I'm a relationship coach. I'm going to talk about relationships. That's got nothing to do with me at
Mm.
all. But
You ain't even in no relationship.
I mean, it and what people, the reason that I know that you got that a lot of people are used to the subliminal messages is because you tend to assume what you're always around. You tend to assume that. And so you assume because everybody that you know does subliminal messages, that apparently everybody else does too. I don't do that. I don't. You guys know, if you have followed me any number of times, the only relationship I talk about is the one that I was in with the narcissist. I don't talk about my marriage, my previous marriage. I talk about the domestic attack that happened at the end of the marriage. I don't discuss my
Mm-hmm.
relationship issues with anyone on social media. I have a tribe for that. I have people for that. And you need to do the same. If you don't have it, you need to get it, because social media isn't the place. Every post I put up is a demonstration of the passion that I have for us getting relationships right. It has nothing to do with me trying to talk to an ex or get something out. That's just not me. And so if you start to think that that's what everyone is doing, you need to do a self check, especially as a business owner. And you have got to remember to turn that stuff off. I've been hurt. I've cried. There are some videos, I won't tell you which ones, but there's some videos where I cried right before I hit record. But that's because I turn me off when it's about my business. I turn me off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I need to take 5 minutes. Let me get it out. Okay, I'm good. Record, and I do my thing. If I need to have another session with me, myself, and I have it when I hit end. I don't have it in the video. I don't have it. I don't have it while I'm sitting right. I wish I would sit up here on live social media crying about stuff. I wish I would. Anyway, but some of y'all are doing it, and I understand the pain. I'm not telling you to hide the pain. I'm saying to redirect it. That's got to be the number one boundary you set, especially if you're using social media to bring in clients. That is not a good look. It
Mm-hmm.
is not a good look. So take that offline and have those moments elsewhere. Because once you decided to become a business owner, social media had to be something different for you. It has to be. Okay. So another boundary that I would strongly suggest is well, basically what Ruby said. I'll just piggyback on that, where we're talking about setting boundaries, being firm so that you're not too lenient, specifically if you
Mm-hmm.
were still working with uh the person that you're no longer in a relationship with. You do want to watch that leniency. Don't get so bogged down by his smile or her booty that you just let certain things slide. You notice that there's $5 or $10 missing, like, oh well, that's not a big deal. I know she's going through a hard time. I know he's still dealing with us not being together. Okay, so that $10 can turn into 10,000, right? If you just keep
Mm-hmm.
ignoring it. You do know that if you continue to ignore policies and stuff like that, that you will eventually run into someone who does know your policy and gets upset when they see you not enforce it all across the board. Now you
Right.
got a review saying that you're not consistent, or God forbid you were lenient to one person of one race and enforce the policy to someone of another race. Now you're racist. Now you're prejudiced. You got to chill. You have got to set your boundaries and keep them. Take your stuff off
Sure.
social media. Don't enter into a painkiller relationship. That's what I call them. You got to walk this thing out the hard way. And the only reason I say it's hard is because it's always easier to get up under another person. It's always easier to go find 5 or 6 people to date. Healing is harder compared to that. But for the sake of your business, please heal the hard way. Make a decision. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to go out here and just sleep around because I want to get over him or her. I'm not just going to go out here and just start dating people. One of the best times that you can put the most energy into your business is when you're hurting. If you decide to put that energy into when you are in pain, if you decide to put that pain into your business productively, you have no idea how much you could get done. And it'll be beneficial. It's like planting a seed. Decision. I'm gonna plant a seed in my business instead of my bed. I'm gonna plant a seed in my business instead of my distraction. It will always produce a better
Mm-hmm.
result. So those are the two that I wanted to bring up.
Yes, thank you, Allison, and thank you all for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. Now, we do this every Sunday at 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, but also on Tuesdays for Soul Sunday Reloaded. And on Tuesdays, we are live at 7 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, the last area that I want to touch on before we go is the physical part of it. When you go through a breakup, you know, especially if it was somebody that you really cared about, y'all were together for a while and everything, you know, you get to the point where you don't want to eat, you can't sleep, you sleep too much, you get headache. I mean, it's just so many physical things that can happen to us when going through a breakup. Y'all can act like y'all don't get affected, but I do. I like eating, and when my feelings hurt or when I'm upset, I don't eat. And then I be upset because I ain't ate. But I can't eat because I'm feeling so, you know.
Yep.
When you get to the point where you're going through that part, that's gonna affect you in your business. Because if you're not getting enough sleep, that's gonna affect your decision making.
Yes, it will.
You can't make important decisions when you've been sleep deprived. You haven't had enough. People can see that.
They can.
When you're going through something physically, people can see that. They ain't gotta be nosy. They ain't gotta ask you a bunch of questions because it's all right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on your face.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in how you think. It's all in how you act. It's all in how you talk to people. And then don't act like y'all haven't gone through a breakup or something that's happened and y'all done took some time off work. Yes, I will say if you are dealing with a breakup and you know emotionally it hurts you real bad, you might need to take a few days off just to kind of recoup. Don't go right back to work thinking, okay, well, if I go to work and I focus on that, I won't focus on this. Yes, you will.
You will.
Yes, you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you will. And yeah, for a little while you'll be like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. But then you're gonna hear a song
Yep.
or somebody, everybody don't know y'all broke up. Somebody gonna walk up and ask you, so what you and such and such do last night? Um, we not together no more.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Now you it's all on your
Yep.
face. It's the physical you is gonna affect you physically. When you go through a breakup,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna affect you.
Yep.
Make sure that, like I said, make sure you allow your time to process what's going on mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, and physically. Because if you think just you mentally, okay, it's out of my head, out of sight, out of mind, I'm not gonna deal with it, I'm good. You still gonna be affected emotionally. It's still energy, it's still spiritual, and you still gonna have to deal with it regardless. So you might as well give yourself the time to physically recoup from the breakup. I look, some of y'all, if y'all gotta go in the corner and cry and rock back and forth, do that.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all gotta do the ugly cry with snot and everything else, do that. Because I'd rather you do it at home in the privacy, like Allison said, before I press play and after I press end. Just make sure you wipe your nose in between.
Okay.
Just make sure. Because we ain't got to know that. But you do. And you have to deal with that. I don't want you trying to run your business and you can barely even walk. You haven't even ate for 3 days.
Yep.
The only thing you've gotten down is some water. That is not healthy.
Mm-mm.
You wouldn't want, if you were running a business, well, actually, you are running a business, and if your employees came to work and they haven't eaten in 3 days and they looking like they've been through everything, what you gonna do? You gonna tell you need to go home. That's exactly what you gonna tell them. You can't be
That's
walking around here looking like that.
mm-mm.
Because you already know if somebody comes in, if a customer comes in and sees them there, that's not a reflection of them. That's a reflection of you as the business owner.
Yep.
And you know you don't want them there. You know you don't want to lose your money because somebody up in there feeling some type of way,
That's the truth.
looking some type of way, and treating people some type of
You're
way.
right.
Now, if you are your only employee, I need you to be the same way with yourself. Be like, hey, look, self, you need to get this together. You can't go to work looking like this. You can't be talking to people looking like this, talking about buy my product. I will not buy your product. I'm gonna leave it right there, right there, because you looking kind of sick right now. I don't know that that sick is because you're dealing
Okay.
with the breakup. Me as a consumer, I just, hey, some something going on, and I'm just gonna back on up and go right on back out the door. Y'all don't ever go to Chick-fil-A and see nobody up and never no attitude, do y'all? Nope.
Nope.
Allison.
Man, the physical part, that is gonna be the start. That's what gets you. I mean, when I'm really when I have really dealt with a situation where a relationship I didn't want to end is ended, I don't reach for carrot sticks. I reach for cake, or I reach for nothing. I don't want no water. Don't tell me about no water intake. Where is my ginger ale and my cranberry? I'm just gonna go crazy. So the physical, that's the part you got to watch, and you have to watch how it starts to manifest in your life. Now, some of you may say, well, it doesn't affect me like that because I still get up and run, and I still get up and exercise, and I still do blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, yeah, check your to-do list though. How much of your
Hmm.
to-do list has been done? How many things have you added to the to-do list? How many projects do you have in the middle of completion? You start here and then for some reason you get distracted, and then you start something else and you get distracted, and then you start something else and get distracted. What have you completed since this breakup?
Mm.
What have you completed? What is the status of your house? I think it was me and Tara. It might have been one of Tara's videos where I talked about this. Um, One way I know that I'm not where I think I am is the condition of my bedroom. I don't have to look anywhere else. Everywhere else is a bonus. I get up and make my bed every morning faithfully.
Mhm.
If I look around, not only has my bed not been made, but I got clothes on it, books on it. I got stuff all over the floor. I'm like, yep, you need to go do some extra meditation. I don't know what's going on. This here ain't you. Go find what is it that you avoid and what are you hiding from yourself. You need to
Mhm.
start checking those areas out because it will show up in other areas. It doesn't matter that certain parts of your routine have not changed. It's going to be those other things that you know aren't like you. I like neat, I like order, I like clean. When I see chaos, I know I got a mental problem that I'm not willing to deal with right now, and that's where it's showing up. In terms of
Mhm.
in terms of spiritual, I'm just going to go ahead and end it with sex. You have got to stop mixing energy. Stop having sex with the person that has decided that they don't want to commit to you, or that you've decided you don't want to commit to. Stop sleeping with them. Stop it. Number two,
Stop it.
stop it. Number two, though, don't sleep with nobody else. See, that's the thing where we mess it up. Now, when you get to a place that you know that you are ready to it, even if you're just at a point where I just want some physical attention, I don't want a commitment, and I'm gonna be honest about that with the person that I'm interested in, that's cool. What I see oftentimes, however, is to stop thinking about sex with one person, you start having sex with other people. Now you got all this extra energy, specifically my sisters. You got all of this extra energy from this new man, thinking that it's gonna clear out the energy from the old man, but it's not. It's just distracting you. Celibacy is not a cuss word. I promise. It's not. It's not a death sentence. It's none of that. It is you clearing out old energy, deciding what it is that you want going forward, and making room for it. It's nothing more than that.
Yep.
Chill. Do a womb cleanse. Do two or three of them if it don't seem to work. Do a womb cleanse. Meditate. Get that sacral chakra balanced. And stop letting people in there until, see, I'm learning. I'm
Yeah.
learning. And stop letting people in there. And you know what there is. Stop letting people in there until you're ready. Stop mixing energy. Sex is not going to cure your broken heart. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. Sex is not going to clear up your broken heart. And you want me to prove it? Find out your ex, the one that you still love, the one that you still want. Find out that he or she is in a new relationship. Find out that he or she is married. And tell me how good that sex will be 5 minutes after getting that information. Tell me. I'll wait. You got to chill out. You got to chill out. Stop using your
Gotta
body
chill
as a
out.
passion when you should be protecting it as the temple that it is. That's what that one thing alone. If you do that along with the blocking of seeing anything going on with your life for a while, you are already ahead of the game. Already, just doing those two things. But that's all I wanted to add.
Well, thank you, Allison, for that. This is Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison, and we are discussing business and breakups. And I know it's a lot of y'all out there that got a business, and y'all probably dealing with some breakups. And keep in mind that breakups are just not actual real relationships. Y'all got some situationships out here. Y'all got some textationships out here. Y'all got some wannabes. Y'all got some mental relationships going on with people that you don't even know.
Oh my God.
It's kind of spread out all across the board.
For
In
real.
all of these relationships, and it's sometimes it's not even a breakup with an intimate person. It can be a breakup with a friend. You had a friend and y'all been doing this thing together, and then all of a sudden something happened and y'all ain't even friends no more. Y'all ain't even cool no more. It might be a situation where, you know, you and your mama ain't that tight no more. Y'all might be going through something.
Yep.
And y'all, you know, take a break from each other. It's not just relationship breakups that can um affect your business. It's a breakup of any kind. Even a breakup in the relationship that you have with yourself. Once you get to the point where you start healing and you start getting to, you know, wanting to do better versus not do the things that you used to do. Some of the stuff that you have to change, some of the pieces of you that you have to let go of that's no longer you, that is a breakup. And that's going to affect you the way you do business, the way you do things. And that ain't pretty. Y'all, that relationship with yourself, some of y'all got some ugly relationships.
Man.
Some ugly relationships. But when you decide to want to do better, it is not easy at all. It is difficult. And especially if that person that you're breaking away from is somebody that's been there for years, somebody that you've always gone to talk about different things, somebody that you've that has become a very that at some point was a very essential part of your life, and they're no longer there. It's gonna affect you and how you run your business. It's gonna not even running your business, but that's what we're talking about. But just your job, career, anything, any personal breakups that you experience are gonna affect you professionally.
Yep.
Online, you can't separate it. You can't pretend like it didn't happen. You can't say, well, that's personal and this is professional, and it doesn't affect one of the. Yes, it do. Yes, it do.
Yes.
And if you sitting out here acting like it's not gonna affect you, you lying. You are lying.
You are.
But you know, oh, it's that time already.
Yeah.
Dang, time went by
fast.
Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and let Allison get some last words in real quick. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
So final words from me are you started your business for a reason. When you are dealing with a breakup, you can tend to get so bogged down in the loss of that person, the loss of the dream that you may have of where it was going, that you can start to lose sight of why the business was created. You can start losing sight of you. You can start losing sight. And I say you can, but this is often what does happen. You do lose sight. And what Ruby and I want to do is just start to give you some different tips. What we've done today is give you some different tips on how to get yourself back on track, because it boils down to this. We're showing you ways to get back onto the logical side or the divine masculine side of yourself, while the emotional side or the divine feminine side of you is wreaking havoc all over your body, your mind, your business, your money. your emotions are all over the place, and we're showing you how to gently get yourself back to the masculine side of your mind so that you can go back to finding balance. And so if you are in this situation, if you are dealing with, I really miss him or her, and I really love him or her, and I just can't seem to stay focused, number one, just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge that that's where you are and stop trying to pretend that you're not. That is going to be the first step. After
Right.
that, start doing the things that we have suggested today. Please go back and feel free to watch the video again. Go back and watch and follow some of the steps as they apply to you and as you think that they may help you, because we don't want you to forget your ex. We don't want you to forget love. We don't want you to bog down your feelings like they don't matter. We want you to learn when to acknowledge them, especially as an entrepreneur, and when to put them to the side and focus on something more important, especially because you're an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
so that you don't lose your business too.
Right. Yes. And that's pretty much it. So, now let me stop. We appreciate you all for tuning in to Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. We will be back on Tuesday for Soul Sunday Reloaded, and that will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know what we're talking about. You got to tune in because, like today, a few minutes before, Allison, what we talking about? But it's cool though. I very much enjoyed this topic. You know, Allison is all about is, she's the relationship expert. Me, I'm more on the entrepreneurship side, and we both do mental health, healing, and all of that, self-love, self-care advocates. So we get a chance to bring all of that together.
Yes.
And our topics can be about anything,
Anything.
a mixture of anything. So definitely tune in on Tuesday. Earlier, of course, I had Soul Therapy Radio with myself and Tara, and we had special guest, Miss Latira Ford. She is an author. So definitely make sure you watch that as well. Hey, Kima, thank you. Hey, Zip, thank you everybody for tuning in. Um, if you want to, actually, I am working towards my goal of selling 100 books by the end of this month. And last time I checked, I still had 85 more books to go. Yes, that is the first one. The God is Ground. We ground with one eye open. All about the chakras, balancing your chakras. Easy to read,
That's it.
easy explanations,
Yes.
suggestions, affirmations, everything. Y'all need to get that book. That is
But
a good
it's a
book.
really good book, y'all. I'm reading it for I think it's the third or fourth time. I'm still getting new information.
Ah! But if y'all want to purchase that book or my second book, make sure you go to www.thegoddessgrind.com. It felt like I was saying W's for a long time. But thegoddessgrind.com to purchase the book, and it's on the products and services tab. Um you can also find me on Instagram at Ruby the Artistry. You can find Soul Therapy Radio at soultherapyradio.life, and find us on Instagram at soul_therapy_radio. And y'all know what we got? We got some surprises in the works for you. Y'all just gotta wait for them. Wait for them. We got y'all. Allison.
Peace and blessings, guys. I do appreciate you tuning in with me and Ruby today, and I hope you got something out of what we said and can go ahead and take it and immediately implement it into your life. If you would like to connect with me to discuss relationships, how to get past them, how to turn the page so that you can get ready for the next one and hopefully the better one, please feel free to link up with me under Allison Denise and go like my official page, Miss Allison Denise, aka the Petite Powerhouse. That's me. You can also find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter under Miss MS Allison Denise. And please go to AllisonDenise.com to book me for any coaching needs that you have, whether it be individual, with your girls, with your dudes, or couples, and how I can help bring some of my knowledge to your next workshop. I'm available nationwide.
Well, we thank y'all. It's been beautiful, but my mama cooking and my stomach growling, and my mama know how to cook. And my sister downstairs, and she like to eat too. So I need to go get in where I fit
Right, right.
in. So we will talk to y'all, or we will see y'all on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on my Facebook Live. And if you want to watch any of the past episodes of Soul Therapy, so Sunday, I mean, Soul Therapy, Soul to Soul, any of my Facebook Lives, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ruby Davidson, and just watch them all. I think we are counting, I think maybe about 40. I know it's at least 40 some shows that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
40 some, almost 50. It's a lot, but it's a lot of
It
information.
is.
And if you enjoyed today, you will definitely enjoy those.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go check that out. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. Yeah, make sure you do that. But it's been fun. We love you. We appreciate you. We will see you all on Tuesday. And that's all we got for today. So bye bye.